Alright. What is this? They're making dating impossible. Alright. 3, 2, 1, boom.
Your comments saying nose ring theory are literally doing the opposite of what you think they are. I want to look this way. I want you to be able to look at me and see that I am a safe space and that
That's fine. That means the people that don't want to look at a nose ring are gonna know. And then they won't interact with you, and then everybody can be happy. What's wrong with that? Yo, Wicked, thank you for the 5 gifted, by the way. I appreciate it.
Don't tolerate bullshit. I want you to look at me and know Donald Trump, men, honestly.
Are you a lesbian then? Because you don't like men in that way? Like, what's going on here? Okay, maybe that's what you want. I'm not judging. Go ahead, be gay. I don't give a fuck.
Well, this is deeply unpleasant.
Doesn't seem there's space for it. Yeah, but men are not. No cool. No bueno. No bueno.
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. And just a quick note before we do the video. On my tea website, Lions Tea Exchange, I am running a Black Friday / Cyber Monday sale of up to 50% off site-wide.
Ooh.
Yes, everything on sale, including my wooden gift boxes. No code needed. The discounts are automatically applied at checkout. I will link everything in the description box. Now, I have not dipped my little toesy woesies into the dating discussion for quite a while, namely because every time I do, it brings really strange people out of the woodwork. We respect and like both men and women on this channel, friends.
What? Respecting both? What?
We just don't particularly like buttholes and insane people, okay?
Yeah,
this is not a space to just aggressively hate on either sex for no reason, so mind your P's and Q's, or I'll find you and snap your little fingers.
And necks.
I wish that was more satisfying. That was not worth it. I love that we're starting this video with me threatening all of you like some sort of mafia boss. You know what? Rather than snapping your fingers, perhaps I'll just send you all fish in the mail.
It's like when the mafia send each other fish through the post.
Anyway, one of my dear darling friends sent me this video to laugh at, but rather than finding it very funny, it just made me incredibly sad for everybody still in the dating world.
I'm sure you've probably seen that
Whoa. Whoa. She's gorgeous.
person that does like
damn
messages, their Tinder matches.
Whoa, is that a tattoo of love backwards on your head?
First with like the most dialogue.
Dude, the more I look, the more like Easter eggs I uncover, man. I'm not even kidding.
Apolitical, just random shit. I do this too. It's one of my favorite hobbies. So every week I'm going to be making one of these episodes and showing you the things I've said to potential
it's kind
mates.
of cool.
I won't lie, and maybe I'm alone in this. I think
is she a Diablo boss? That's when Diablo actually made cool bosses.
A little weird to go out of your way to traumatize men on the internet for views. The lads are simply trying to find someone to love as well. But more importantly, who is intentionally matching with this person on dating apps? Do you have some sort of humiliation fetish? What is going on here?
Here's one of my first ones from this week. You ever ate a hot dog backwards? I feel like this is a great way to open a conversation. Because, like, there's no wrong answer, you know?
Okay, she's trying to be funny.
I think it's fucking hilarious. Do you think bugs would choose to work a 9 to 5 if they had better health insurance?
Okay, this sounds like an average smuggler donation, I'm not gonna lie.
God knows I would. I'm not really sure what the theme is with the hot dogs today.
Do you think leftists tried not to be funny on purpose, or do you think it just happens that way?
No, I just think that some people aren't that funny, and that's okay.
Because I
don't think I'm that funny. People glaze me all the time and say I'm funny. I don't think I'm that funny. I definitely wouldn't write that if I was trying to date someone, but sure.
Hate myself. I went and looked up this girl's TikTok. She calls herself Bunny with an I. All of this is checking out so far. It feels exclusively like this account was made for me to hate watch. Anyway, after scrolling her weird videos, I found that about a month after the clip I showed you, she was banned from Tinder. Yeah, maybe it was asking men weird questions about hot dogs. Just a thought. You see, I got permabanned on the dating app Bumble for impersonating myself. You got
good one, Bumble.
You drew anorexic caterpillars on your face. Anyway,
I like her lashes.
Women like our friend Bunny here are making dating a lot harder than it needs to be. And during my travels of the internet, I came to find out that this is apparently more of a feature of modern dating, not a bug. And because of women who look and act this way, it's given rise to the term
chat would let her ruin them. This chick right here, even if she has double septum piercings. Would? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You would, yeah. Like for like a night or something, for sure. Yeah, she looks like a doll.
Septum ring theory, or nose ring theory. So, because my birth
maybe
year
you wouldn't
starts with a 1-9,
I
had absolutely no idea what this meant and had to look it up. And apparently it refers to women who have a septum piercing, or I guess nose piercings in general, being mentally unwell and psychotic.
Alright kids, I just woke up and I saw this comment and was like, what does this mean? So I did my little research on the internet, the TikTok search bar, and it turns out that I'm
She has double nose ring theory. Okay. I'm sure what she's going to say is very reasonable.
I mean, he ain't wrong. I'm in therapy, I'm medicated, I'm bi, whatever.
At least they're admitting to it. I don't know what to do with this.
The MAGAs just started calling this like, oh, nose ring theory. Every woman with a nose ring is apparently crazy.
Here we go, man. Everything I don't like is MAGA. Everything I don't like is a Nazi. Everyone who disagrees with me is a racist. This is why you're this lonely and miserable, and also why you're proving the theory right. One of the biggest points of the nose ring theory that people talk about is that the girls that have them are unironically mentally unstable, liberal retards, to the point that they say that the guys who are apolitical or they just say that shit and say that they're apolitical are secretly Trump voters that hate women and want you to have no rights. You're literally doing the meme that everybody talks about on the internet. You proved everyone's point within the first 2 words coming out of your fucking mouth. The MAGAs. Newsflash, lady. A lot of these dudes literally just don't care about politics. The complete lack of self-awareness is genuinely just fucking astonishing to me. These girls are so retarded. How do you put your pants on in the morning?
Essentially, what this so-called theory states is
I love that they put it in brackets, like, theory.
That women with septum rings make their trauma, their whole personality, they're unhinged, crazy, and basically it's just a way to discredit, denounce, and degrade women.
Your comments saying nose ring theory are literally doing the opposite of what you think they are. I want to look this way. I want you to be able to look at me.
She's like a poisonous frog. She even has the very yellow-green color in her hair, so people know that there might be something like poisonous about her. Yeah.
And see that I am a safe space and that I don't tolerate bullshit. I want you to look at me and know Donald Trump, men, honestly.
Fuck men, honestly.
What's going on in the world right now?
I watched like 20 of these videos of women with septum bars and nose piercings angrily disagreeing with these comments being left on their videos, but without fail, every single one of them was a leftist, because stereotypes do actually exist for a reason. It actually annoys me a lot because when I was an emo teenager, everybody cool had a septum piercing and all of us—
Yeah, my brother had one for like a year and then he took it out. I'm not even kidding. Like, he just had it for a year and then he just was like, this is lame. I don't want to do it anymore.
Wanted one because they were a real sign of being in the alt community, like the actual alt community, not whatever it is today, whatever the kids are doing today. Now, the only people who look like this are people who have daddy issues so hard they think the government should parent them.
It's absolutely hilarious.
Some people unironically want that. They want a daycare system led by the government. Yeah.
The Trumpers are just now realizing that people who have different views than them have nose rings. Like, yeah, bud. I decided a long time ago I don't want to conform to your beauty standards.
Probably because you were sabotaged by another woman, probably on Reddit or Twitter, who is also miserable and upset and hates men and doesn't want to see you happy. And now you drank the Kool-Aid, and now you decided to do everything you can to make yourself as undesirable as possible to men. And then in 5 years' time, when you can't find a happy relationship, you're gonna blame all men and say they're all trash, they're all sexist, when in reality, actually, it is completely and utterly your fault, but you can't take any accountability for that. And then the cycle will continue. You will be miserable and extremely unhappy, and then you'll be the one sabotaging women on Reddit on our XXX chromosome because you don't want to see them happy. I know, that's just how it's gonna go.
You know, a lot of these people are just extremely, extremely alarming human beings. Like, the sort of people who you would reject, and then they would go to extreme lengths to find you out in the real world and come to your house. And that's actually entirely possible because of...
Redditors want that, yeah. They type threats and then they delete their accounts because they get called out.
How much of your private information is accessible on the internet through data brokers? So if you don't want to be stalked by one of these insane people, check out the sponsor of today's video, Incogni. You never question protecting yourself out in the real world with pew-pew sticks or pepper spray or your giant guns that you make in the gym. Your giant guns. I mean yours, not mine. So why wouldn't you protect yourself online as well? When identity theft is so prevalent and scammers are running wild. Americans, unfortunately, know all about getting spam calls and texts. There are even those incredibly upsetting videos where scammers will go ahead and clone your voice and then call your loved ones. And this disgusting practice is happening because, unfortunately, your information is out there on the web, on data broker websites, ready to be purchased by whoever. I know.
I am never going to be one of those weirdos that, like, films themselves at a gym. I'm sorry. I think it's a private space. I think, like, people are already self-conscious enough to go to the gym. If it's a private gym that, like, all your friends consent to, that's fine. Because I know there's, like, I think OTK has, like, a private gym somewhere that they all just do content with, which is fine. I think that's fine. But, like, when it's like a public gym, fuck no. That's so cringe. I hate that shit. Stop filming yourself and then, like, baiting people to be like, oh my god, he's looking at my ass! Ah!
I care so much about everybody having privacy on the internet, which is why I work with Incogni, which is why they sponsor this video, and which is why I hope that you will go ahead and download them once I'm done talking. On my profile here, you can see Incogni has had over 1,000 entries about me removed from the internet. And it was straightforward to make this happen. I made an account, I gave Incogni the right to work for me, and they set about smacking down data brokers on my behalf. At first, it was really scary seeing how much of my information Incogni has taken offline, but I'm actually really grateful for it because all too often we hear these horror stories about criminals using data broker websites to steal their victims' information and then use their social security number, their addresses, their names. I also really like that they've recently taken this all a step further with their custom removals, and this basically just lets you submit web pages that you find yourself for Incogni to battle on your behalf. It's important to know that there are a lot of companies that claim to do what Incogni does, but Incogni has actually been independently verified by Deloitte, meaning they're the real deal. So now is the time to take your data back with Incogni, especially if you are worried about data brokers like I am. So click the link in the description or go to incogni.com/Sydney. And don't forget to use code Sydney to get 60% off Incogni's annual plans. What's becoming increasingly clear and is probably obvious to a bunch of you two is that there is a huge schism that has developed between men and women. And this same group of women who go out of their way to let you know that they hate men, that they don't need men, that men are terrible, horrible demon creatures, are simultaneously quite confused why they're having so much trouble finding a man to date. More specifically of the liberal variety.
This video is for my girlies who are in relationships with liberal men. More specifically,
I wouldn't want to be talked down by anybody like saying like, oh my god, I fucking hate all women. They all fucking suck, including you. It's like, what the fuck? What's wrong with you? My girly pops and I think that being in a relationship is cringe.
People that are just super down with like human rights, women's rights, don't support genocide, aren't transphobic, aren't homophobic, aren't racist.
And another thing is like the constant moving of the goalposts. Keeping up with that shit must be so tiring.
Shit, you know? I'm curious where you found them, and if you think there's any left. Don't get me wrong, super happy that you like got your hands on one. It's kind of giving like ultra rare, like 24 karat gold Labubu type shit. Like, that's super awesome.
Oh my god, she actually brought up Labubus as like a valuable thing. That's how you know she's mentally ill, because she unironically thinks Labubus are cool.
Just curious if you think there's any left and where you would direct us single girls to find them.
Honey, they don't exist. They're too busy getting pegged. Jokes aside, there's actually this humorous trend on social media where these women, once again, are asking not only where the liberal men are, but where are the liberal men who behave like conservative men?
Do you want to know one of the saddest realizations I recently had? Was that as a liberal woman, it is really hard to...
Liberal woman who wants a traditional man who's not a conservative. This has gotta be bait. This is like an oxymoron, right?
Find a man who is willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship in today's day and age.
This is trolling, right?
Who is not a conservative. A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who has that...
I don't understand how you can be this low IQ. Why can't I find a man who's simultaneously a cock and also a trad masculine provider? This is so fucking embarrassing. Let me try and explain the problem to you. If you find a guy who agrees with all your politics and also opens your door and provides and protects and whatnot, and you're happy... But if you find the same kind of guy, but he doesn't agree with your politics and all that protecting and providing and that door opening, that's now toxic masculinity. Does that not make sense to you, milady? The reason no men on your side of the politics do those things is because you weaponize those more traditional traits against them the second they have an opinion you disagree with. It's genuinely not that fucking hard to figure out, but I guess, like, I'm a genius, but by these people's standards. I think I'm an idiot, but I guess I'm the queen of idiots. When you go on a first date with a guy, and he pays for the meal, and opens your door, and pulls out your chair for you, and opens the door for your car and whatnot, when you find out that he agrees with your politics, those things are sweet and thoughtful. But if you find out he disagrees with your politics, now it's demeaning and patronizing and controlling, and like it's just so stupid. Your narrative shifts depending on your opinion of the guy. That's why this happens.
Want and desire to take care of you and to provide, who is not a conservative.
Videos like this are so surreal to me, and it's very hard to put into words why, but I'm going to try. I don't think there's anything wrong or weird or strange or inherently leftist about wanting to be treated as an autonomous, independent person. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think it's quite strange to participate in the same ideology that has browbeaten men for decades, insisted that chivalry and sort of traditional values are a tool of the patriarchy, and then turn around when you're ready and say, no, I want it now. I personally...
Yeah, so instead, but how does protecting and caring go with their girl boss girl persona? Pick a lane. It's when it's convenient. That's the problem. Like, I want a girl boss and be independent and all this shit, but then when push comes to shove and your ovaries are drying up, then, yeah, all of a sudden, oh, I don't want to have a career anymore. I want to settle down.
I don't think that
that's pretty much it.
Particularly with respect and decency and kindness and blah 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 should be a left-wing or right-wing thing, just like I don't think that treating men with decency and kindness and love should be a particularly left-wing.
No, that's like actually so irritating to me. People accuse me of being a far-right fucking freak and say like, oh my god, Alana's a fucking Nazi and she does this and that. I'm like, she respects men, and I'm like, I respect everyone that's, like, nice to me. Like, if you're a girl in my chat, I'm not gonna shit on you because you're a girl. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I just respect everyone, and I think that men deserve respect because everybody does. Like, what?
Right-wing thing.
Yeah, she's a pick-me Nazi who likes men.
Men acting this way, it's typically conservative traditional beliefs that underpin this behavior. I'm sorry it's this way. You've told all the liberal men that everything has to be 50-50 and that you want to be fully equal to him, and he's going to act that out. He's going to expect you to behave in such a way that demonstrates that. And fair enough. You've told him that's what you want.
They want, what is it called? Schrodinger's tradition. Simultaneously traditional and also not traditional, depending on the situation or how she feels. Like I said, it's selective. It's retarded and it doesn't work. The issue is these morons literally cannot comprehend is that if you want a masculine traditional boyfriend, you're gonna have to be a more of a submissive woman sometimes for it to work. And they'll never do that. They never will. As an example, you want your boyfriend to protect you. Okay, fine. So to fill that role, maybe you're out on a walk and he sees some sketchy people walking towards you. So he says, for example, let's cross the street to avoid them. She would instantly call him an ist or an ism for assuming the people in front of you want to harm them in some type of way, especially if they're not fucking white. That's how it would play out. If you want a strong masculine man to protect you, there are some occasions where you have to shut the fuck up and listen. I don't know how else to put it. Just shut the fuck up and listen. And everyone knows these types of girls won't do that. You can't expect to be protected if you're incapable of letting him determine what is or isn't a threat. Or if you're going to go and question him every time he tries. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here?
It's no wonder that fertility rates are falling. Everyone is insane. To be honest with you all as well,
everyone
I think
is
that
crazy,
the sort of social conditioning that I just described around male-female behavior is probably why a lot of men now actively do not want to approach women, and why women, the normal ones, are finding this very frustrating.
I better pay attention to me tonight. I'm so sick of this shit.
Oh my god.
I've seen this so many times.
Touch a boob, buy a drink. I mean, it's like very simple.
Touch a boob. Touch a boob, lady. What are we? No.
Every day I go out, looking adorable, tits bouncing, skin glistening.
Oh my god, look at those honkers.
And yet nobody ever hits on me or approaches me.
Because they're scared to, because they've been told it for like 20 years that if you talk to women on the street, you're a rapist. I wonder why. Exactly. Half my chat, if I ask them, like, do you approach women because, like, you're scared of women? It's like, yeah, half of them would say jokingly yes. But then the other half would be like, well, no, I'm not scared. It's that, like, a lot of people out there will record this shit and then post it on the internet and call me a rapist and ruin my life. I don't want that smoke. Yeah. Better safe than sorry. Yeah, getting accused of something that you never did. It's like, oh, geez.
Ever.
Jeez, I wonder what I'll pick.
Like, please.
Guys don't approach girls at the bars anymore.
I do.
I don't expect guys to come up to me, but I know the caliber of my friends, and I know what those bitches look like, and they are some stunning If guys aren't going up to them, guys aren't going up to fucking anyone. So I think if you're going up to girls at the bar in the first place, whether you say hi, whether you say, can I buy you a drink, whether you use Nick's line, which is a great line, by the way.
Thank you.
I think you have a million times better of a shot.
I think it's worth pointing out, because it often gets lost in this conversation, that a lot of the women who are now experiencing men withdrawing from them, young men withdrawing from them, actually had nothing to do with the messaging that caused that reaction in the first place. They were little girls when all of this was being so heavily laid on everybody, and now unfortunately they're the ones who are getting kicked in the head by the messaging that generations beforehand had been, you know, forcing onto men.
I remember on Tumblr sometimes there would be like really popular artists that would make like comics of them getting like hit on at bars or like going outside in school and like getting hit on, and then it would get millions and millions of likes. And I always wondered to myself, like, how actually verifiably true is this? And I wonder if, like, people know who the person is that they made a comic about. This happened quite a lot, actually, now that I think about it. I would read that stuff and I'm like, does this happen really as often as I think? Like, men actually hurt people a lot of the time? 95% of them is just clout chasing? Yeah, because it gets you a lot of attention. Obviously.
I don't know if
having a sob story
that well at all,
or bad story.
So I really feel for these young women because they had nothing to do with it, and I feel bad for the young men because they've been once again browbeaten from the time that they were little to sort of go against innate instincts of, you know, wanting to chase and all these fun things. So it's, I don't know, I think everything's pretty screwed up. But this video is not about the women who are collateral damage and all of this. This is about the crazy, psychotic women who are canceling dates because a guy said that he's not interested in politics. I was supposed to...
Who the fuck wants to talk about politics? No offense. Chat, if I'm ever on a date and a guy starts talking about fucking Trump or Israel or like Iran, my eyes are gonna glaze the fuck over. My anime girl brain cannot. We can talk about anime, talk about the food, maybe you want to be a drink, I'll get blasted. I don't want to talk about politics, man. What the fuck?
To go on a date tonight, but I realized I hadn't asked him enough questions, so I called him before. I was like, hey, mind if we just do a quick little run-through questionnaire? And he's like, yeah. Doesn't care about politics. Doesn't care about politics. So
this guy will probably never realize, but he did in fact dodge a major crazy bullet.
I disagree. I think he does realize it. I think he does realize it. That's why the nose ring theory is so popular on social media. She also made a TikTok about it. Is that not crazy to you? Is that not crazy? She went out and made a TikTok talking about how a guy said, oh, sorry, I don't want to date because, like, or no, sorry, she canceled it, and she's, like, bragging about how, like, he doesn't want to talk about politics on the first date. It's because these men are finally starting to connect all of this pattern recognition they've been having with these insane women, and they know the signs. They know when to run. Press 1 in chat if... Chat, hypothetically, let me phrase this correctly. You're about to go on a date with a girl, but she calls you and asks about politics beforehand and then gets mad at you for saying you don't really care about it or pay attention to politics. Press 1 if you would consider that a massive red flag and you'd feel like you dodged a bullet. Oh wow, that's crazy. It's a lot of ones. Yeah? 1 and a block. It's how I filter them! 1 happened to me? That's wild, dude. Is she hot? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Would you think it's a red flag? I would. If I was a dude, I'd be in your shoes. I'd be like, damn, alright. I guess I can stay home.
I love that you guys don't even have to tell these women that you're right-wing anymore. You can just say, I don't care, and they'll dump you anyway.
Yeah.
Once you actually meet men and spend time with them, you realize that they don't really care about too many things anyway. This is not terribly surprising behavior. These women have actually pathologized having normal conversations in an effort to get to know somebody, to ask them questions to see if you're compatible. Because these people do not live on planet Earth with the rest of us, rather than spending the time getting to know somebody as a human being like you normally would, they have instead decided that questions are only for finding out if someone is empathetic and progressive and whatever.
Oh,
Lord
Jesus
help you
Christ,
guys.
man.
Seriously.
Not even like what video games you could play together potentially, or like what anime or movies you might want to watch together. It's about fucking politics. It's all so tiresome, man.
Imagine having to play progressive 20 questions before you can have the most disappointing sex of your life.
She's probably a dead fish anyway. Chad, that's why they stay home and they watch VTubers. You think I'm kidding? But a lot of dudes would literally rather just be at home watching their favorite anime girl playing video games, or like, I don't know, doing chatting and them playing video games on the other screen or something. It's the easier alternative to having to deal with modern dating at this point. It's so sad. Not sad that you want to do this. I'm just saying it's sad that we've come to this point.
I have come up with 10 questions that you can ask when you're dating to see if this person actually has...
Holy hagarella, man.
...empathy and progressive values without being so obvious. Like, they're actually going to have to think about this. Christ. So here we go. So the first question is, tell me about a time you changed your mind about something important to you that maybe your friends or your family members didn't agree with.
It's probably...
Oh my god. Oh, my brain is falling out of my skull. What's left of it? Yeah, that's gonna work. That's the strat, lady. Yes, Miss Hagarella, you cracked the code. Yeah. Sit him down and make him feel like he's at a job interview. What a dumb bitch. Holy shit, shut the fuck up. I could not think of a more corporate, like, retarded sounding question if I tried. You might as well have asked him, like, what are your biggest strengths and weaknesses that you bring to the team? Like, what the fuck, man? You literally have to be retarded to think that sounds good. I'm not even joking. I'm not joking. You have to be retarded.
Pertinent that I tell you that this is the
plan?
Same woman who encouraged her followers to break up with their conservative partners. So, do with that what you will. Is that dog fluff? Oh my god.
My dog is hella hairy.
Oh my god, it's dog fluff. Then there are the women who just patently lose their minds at the very prospect of dating a man with differing political viewpoints.
I cannot believe a man said this to me. Actually, I can. The other day when I posted the video about, like, you know, like wanting a liberal guy or whatever, I had this dumbass literally send me a message, and he was like, well, he doesn't have to be a liberal man. Why can't it just be a man that treats you good?
Oh my god, the audacity, girlfriend. That's disgusting.
Sir, because a MAGA man isn't going to treat me good. You know why? Let's just start with first and foremost. You voted against my fucking rights. Okay?
Yes.
And guess what, lady? They're gonna keep doing that because your political messaging is literally agree with me or you're a Nazi. By the way, she's filming this the whole time in her car and people can see her. I never understood this. Again, there wasn't really much of a choice, was there? Maybe, just maybe, it has nothing to do with your perceived rights and has everything to do with being tired of getting accused of being, like, evil, like, actually evil, or inherently toxic because of their literal gender. But no, of course not. You voted for the wrong person because you hate women, obviously.
This is a completely normal reaction to someone asking you to be open-minded to a nice man. How dare he? I mean, at this point, I am ready to vote against this woman's rights. Golly. I'm not trying to pick on single mothers, just by the way, because I got love for you ladies, but I knew as soon as I saw this video that this woman is, in fact, a single mother. Because of
Did you check her TikTok page?
General air of insufferability.
You gotta go check.
You know, I'm not trying to be judgmental, but I can
Sydney, you kind of being a stereotyper. What the fuck?
Definitely tell that this is a difficult person to live with.
I cannot believe a man said this to me.
I don't know, lady. Maybe
this is so fucking reverbed.
Maybe get your septum pierced. I hear that that's the entry fee to get the therapy that you so desperately need. So I have been both a woman and right-wing more or less my entire life, you know, sort of like oscillating on the right-wing spectrum. And it's kind of funny because nowadays I find myself to be the most moderate on certain issues than I ever have been previously. Mostly because I think everybody's insane. I am the only sane one. I have built a tower around myself and nobody is allowed to enter or disturb my sanity. Anyway, it was always important to me to find somebody who had core values that I shared because that just generally makes life a lot easier. But I would never reject somebody because they were apolitical, which you guys know is an actual thing here. If a guy is not overtly political, these women just assume that he is a raging right-winger. No, bunny, he just doesn't give a crap about politics. Maybe he's the only sane person in the sane tower with his hobbies and fishing. Actually, I'm just kidding.
Building
a
computers.
Dude with a fishing photo, they would 100% think is right-wing. God,
they do. I don't know why, but why is fishing right-wing? Doing outdoor activities is right-wing. What?
God forbid a man has hobbies.
As a bi woman, what am I gonna do with that if you don't say that you're liberal? If you're a white man, are you trying and you match? And you like my profile? Are you see that I'm bi on my profile? Are you trying to convert me? Are you trying to turn me straight? Or what's going on?
So, specifically, if you're a white man, you must be trying to make me straight if you match with me. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm with Sydney. Maybe it's time to take your rights away. All I'm saying is if I was this retarded, I'd be worried people were trying to take my rights away because I'm too stupid to be trusted. Kidding, obviously, but holy shit, she can vote. Terrifying, dude. Holy fuck. Isn't that fucking scary that this person can vote? A man bashed with you because you're bi and you think they're gonna try and convert you to being straight?
What's going on here? Are you liberal but you just write it? What's going on?
I'm sorry, this one was a uniquely painful watch. Delivering to camera in one fell swoop where you just speak words and they make sense and they sound nice is actually quite hard. But if you can't get it correct, why are you still putting it on the internet? Like, why are you exposing people to this? Maybe we should have just left this one in the drafts. So if you are wondering why this is happening, why dating is so hard, and honestly, this is all pretty self-evident, like I said, there's a massive, massive divide happening between men and women. With women obviously getting much more progressive and them also determining that political affiliation is one of the most important factors when it comes to choosing a partner. And these women want you to know that they hate Trump. They want you to know that they have more extreme political opinions in the leftward direction. And they're very upset that they can't signal these things on dating apps appropriately.
What are we doing? Leftists on dating apps, what are we picking? Because I already started the discourse on Twitter, but I want to know your opinion. Are we picking liberal? Or are we picking non-political other? Like, they don't have an option for us. Please let me know. What is worse of two options? Worse or worser? Because I'm having a hard time dissecting if these people are actually leftists, liberals, non-political. Like, we really need a leftist option.
What is that on her shirt? Is it? What is that? What is that? Anti-KKK? Oh my fucking god. What?
I find this really interesting, though, on a statistical level.
Really interesting choice of where.
Again. Between progressive women and conservative / right-wing women.
Dude, this chick needs to get off Reddit, man. There's no way.
People are actually leftists, liberals, non-political. Like, we really need a leftist option.
You really need to get off Reddit, lady. That's crazy. You're so obsessed with political affiliation that you're upset that there's not an option that's extreme enough for you. Let that sink in. There's not an option that's extreme enough for your dating option. And you want to know the funny thing? If the dating apps actually capitulated and gave her the extreme left-wing label that she wants for her profile, it would be a red flag for the men on the app. And she'd stop getting matches. Then she'd make another TikTok and complain about it. Not that her choice of attire was already fucking insane, but, you know, besides that.
I find this really interesting, though, on a statistical level, and this has been demonstrated over and over and over again. Between progressive women and conservative/right-wing women, us righties are much less worried about finding somebody who aligns with us 100% politically. But unsurprising to none of you, the leftist progressive women are incredibly concerned with it. I found one completely insane survey that, if I'm reading this correctly, determined that very liberal women would prefer to date an ex-felon over someone with a differing political view.
No. Stop. This isn't real. This is fake. My hand is in my face right now. I can't. No, this is a joke. No, this is not real. I refuse to believe this is real.
This is actually so funny because I found this TikTok which basically says he might be evil, but at least he's liberal, and I was like,
no, stop. No. I don't know, man. This is a surprise to, like, nobody in my chat at this point because of how many times we've covered women sending unironic, profuse love letters to literal serial killers in prisons. Like, we've covered it so many times of guys that were, like, actual, like, multi-homicide, you know, like, serial killers. Yeah, duh! This is real! Of course they think this. Completely mentally ill, retarded women think like this. It's the same women that are reading violent, I can't see the word on YouTube, essay, R-word smut, by the way, where they there's some smut out there where they shove a gun up the, you know, the hoo-ha, and then they pork them with it, you know? Yeah, there's, like, people who do that unironically, and they read that shit and they get, like, all hot and bothered over it because they're like, oh my god, that's so hot, like, this killer's doing this to me.
Like, I don't even know where I'm gonna use this in this video, but it fits perfectly here, so here you go. What the because of course you've decided that the felon is less bad than these men who you have decided randomly, arbitrarily, are just as bad as, I don't know, Nazis and one of, like...
We should make instead of a man versus bear, it's like the man versus the serial killer. Yeah. Like, normal man, serial killer.
Steal your uterus or something. With the uterus stealing, we're talking about a different group of men. I hate explaining jokes, but I'm talking about the It's weird because despite liberal women
who
desperately wanting someone who politically aligns, they report higher levels of dissatisfaction with life and dating. Wow, I can't imagine why. Let's draw some dead caterpillars on our face and go figure it out, Scoob. What are you doing?
Puppy!
Yeah. I got groomed yesterday and I'm a pretty boy now. You can't see him. He's a pretty boy now. Alright, go away.
Cute.
Be gone from me, vile man. I also want to give props to men here because on a statistical front, and this has been demonstrated over and over, men are just less interested in someone's political views aligning with theirs. Not 100%, just really at all. And I think that's quite evolved, although other people would argue that's just because men will go after anything with a heartbeat. And maybe there's some truth to that too.
Well, yeah, that's their purpose.
I'm going to determine that it's because you guys are more interested in someone being nice and kind and lovely rather than who she votes for. Modern dating is really hard, and it's being made even harder by these insane, crazy women who are so fixated on finding somebody who has as extreme political opinions as them, whereas men are just out here like, I just want to find someone who's nice and normal. So maybe the women are doing you a favor then in that case. What I think is genuinely crazy here is that men seem to be on a quest to to find someone to share their life with, and there's this massive cohort of women who won't even look their way. It doesn't matter if they're apolitical.
Yeah, and they're gonna watch anime and get a anime flashlight and watch VTubers because they don't want to deal with it. Yeah, it's how it's gonna go.
Cool. It doesn't matter if they're a little bit right-wing. It doesn't matter if they're the most extreme right-wing. These women, these progressive women, view all men through the same lens and tar them with the exact same brush. Like I said before, I don't think there's anything wrong at all with wanting somebody who shares your core values, because, like I said, it makes life a lot easier. It makes doing a bunch of things a lot easier, like child rearing and all that fun stuff. However, I think that having somebody with whom you disagree on a multitude of topics actually makes life really interesting, and it means that you can have discussions and debates and you can exchange ideas and grow with each other. If you think the exact same way about absolutely everything.
Changing opinion? Whoa, I remember watching a Caleb Hammer video where a person got mad at him for changing his opinion on something when he received new information. Oh, no way. What?
That's
crazy.
I mean, personally, this is just
People
me.
change
You
their
guys are welcome to
opinions?
disagree, but I don't think that's very fun. And coming back to the videos of the women who are asking, why won't men approach me? Well, why would a man take the risk of approaching a woman when there is a
I don't want to approach women, they're
chance that
scary.
he is going to get chewed out because he doesn't align with her politically? There's obviously so much to this topic. There's always going to be so much to the topic of dating. And just to be clear, there are a lot of things that obviously we didn't talk about in this video that do revolve around men making dating equally as challenging, but that is a topic for another video. Nope, you guys are not faultless. We blame everybody equally on this channel. But when it comes to focusing on
Equal
the women,
rights,
I
equal
just have a
lefts,
few
whoa.
final thoughts that I want to leave you with.
Crazy.
I asked one of my girlfriends who is a former leftist about this, and she is married with children, and I thought her insight would actually be quite interesting into the sort of thought processes going on here. And she told me that even when she was a leftist, her goal was still to get married and have a family, but that was separate from her political views, and more so, she was just focused on having a loving family. But where she sees a big difference with the women of today is that many of them are rejecting.
So the patriarchy is what? Is like a man having his boot on a woman's neck. What the fuck? What?
Family to quote unquote fight the patriarchy.
Feminism is women asking that the boot be removed.
To combat climate change and to not have children and thus continue ruining the world. And in her opinion, and I guess in mine as well, it's
feminist climate justice mean to you? What does feminism and gender have to do with climate justice? Like climate change? Nature is a woman? What? Feminist global warming? Yeah, what does gender have to do with picking up a piece of litter on the ground? What the fuck? Everybody does that. What? Or at least I hope so.
Really bizarre. It is very weird to base the entire course of your own life on national politics and world politics. And I think if we're being real, thinking about relationships and love, and particularly men this way, is just making things so much harder than they need to be. It's making things so much crazier than they need to be. In the end, jeopardizing your own happiness because you continually overlook loving, kind men because they are not foaming progressive leftists is quite crazy. But as far as the men go, I have to think maybe these ladies are doing you a favor, and you are also all collectively dodging one giant bullet. Now, on that note, and before
I think the people that base their entire course of life on like politics and world politics in general, like I don't know, man. I think it's like I think I gotta quote Asman again. It's just crazy to me, like how fucking right he is about like a lot of things. It's just crazy. These white women, and in particular these liberal white women, feel this tremendous amount of guilt because to some degree they're like the most privileged class of people to ever exist. They live in a privileged society. They live in a privileged country. They have a lot of money compared to other people that have to struggle in life. In the year 2026, they have no problems, no worries, no issues. They're playing life on like the easiest mode that has ever existed in the last like 300 years. Or thousands of years, I'm just saying. But like, so they fill this like void and they choose to be insufferable retards about politics and then make that problem everyone else's problems and make everyone else's life difficult in turn. Like, maybe it's some sort of like self-flagellation. Yeah, they have to invent problems. Like, why? What are you doing?
The floor to all of you. This is just a reminder, check out Incogni using the link in the description. I am a huge fan of this service. If this is something that you are worried about, I absolutely think that you should check it out as well. Just the other day, I got an email saying that one of my emails had been leaked on the dark web, which was quite alarming. And it's really good to know that there are services that can help you take your information offline.
Whoa,
now, over the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Do you think that this particular brand of woman is making dating quite challenging? Do you think it's really the fault of both sexes, that both sexes have terrible things going on and are just sort of talking past each other? Do you think that the divide between men and women is only going to get larger as everybody gets more and more extreme? What do you think of all of these weird standards that these women seem to have, that they seem to parrot and look for in the opposite sex? Is it fair? Is it unfair? Is it unreasonable given everything that's going on right now? And what do you generally make of this issue overall? As always, if you have made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are new here and you're not subscribed already and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel, as well as leaving this video a like and a comment, because I do read the majority of them and I like hearing your feedback. Of course, like I always say, my little chickadee noodle people, I hope you stay safe and well and make good choices and be very safe and very wonderful and go and hug your kids and your dog and your wife and all the good stuff and be so happy that probably the majority of you are married and not in the dating pool. I will see your wonderful little faces in the next video.
So positive. So nice. Chickadee noodle people. Thanks, Sydney. I hate it here! Kidding. Oh, go check her out. Very nice. Very nice video. She's a nice lady.